Hi friends, welcome back to the StoneburnerBooks YouTube channel. I am so excited for today's video because we're going to be talking about getting started with a creative business. So we're going to cover how to get started, setting up the building blocks for your company, and choosing which platform to use. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, you have to have a product that you want to sell. I'm guessing that you're probably some sort of artist or maker if you're watching this video, so you have a physical product or maybe a digital product to sell. So you have something in mind or you already have inventory. So first things first, you've got something to do. Now, I am going to talk about my experiences being a seller of journals, handmade journals, and blank books. And I have been selling online since 2010. So all of these, this is just a little disclaimer, all of the information I'm sharing is just my personal experience. I've sold in different venues. I've done wholesale, I've done in-person events, I've sold through a couple different places online. So please take this with a grain of salt. This is just my experiences and everybody's is going to be different, but just some guiding things to think about when you're moving forward. So that's just my little disclaimer part. So once you have your idea of what you want to make and sell, then I would recommend the very first thing is to set up a business bank account and to get your license, your business license in your town. Now, when I first started out, I was living in the city of Boston, and I went to set up my business bank account at a local small bank, and they actually did the licensing part for me as part of the process of setting up a business account. I'm sure that will vary from bank to bank and city to city, but that was a super easy process. Don't be intimidated by it. It is just some paperwork, really, but it's important to have a business account so that you're not just continually funding your stuff out of your own pocket. And also, I have found that if I need to buy something for my company, and I have that money in my business bank account, it doesn't feel like, oh, well, I've been spending a whole lot of money lately, maybe I shouldn't buy this. It's like, no, that's my business account. I don't have to worry about it coming out of my personal accounts or what else I've been spending that month on the personal side of things. I can pull it right from the business account. So when I moved out of the city of Boston, then my town that I live in now, I had to, again, apply for a license for that town. And that, again, it was a very simple process. It's just paperwork. You go onto the town's website, find the licensing department, and fill out the forms that you need. So there is a cost associated with it, and again, that's all going to depend on where you're living. But I highly recommend both setting up a business bank account and getting your business license so that you're legit and you've got your business money separated out from your personal accounts. Okay, so once you've got your business bank account set up and you've got your license, or at least you're in the pipeline getting your license, then I would recommend that you're going to work on setting up both your website and your social media platforms. So I'm going to come back to the website part because there's some questions that I want to ask you and have you think about to help you decide which avenue to go on. So first I'm going to start with social media. So I highly recommend getting your social media set up even if you haven't made anything yet. Get your social media set up, make sure it's a public account, decide on which app you're going to use. I use Instagram as my main platform. I love it, and I'll explain some of the reasons why I really like it when I talk about websites. But it could be TikTok, it could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, it could be YouTube. But think about how you are going to be selling your product and how you want to get your message out. I've seen a lot of growth through Instagram for myself personally, and it's a great way both to show people what you're doing and then also publicize stuff when you have things for sale. So pick, I would say, one social media account or two potentially. One reason I like Instagram is that I had an old Facebook page for my company, and then when I joined Instagram, I can automatically post things from Instagram back to my Facebook page. So even though I'm not really nurturing Facebook anymore, my posts from Instagram that I'm on every day are actually going back and populating that page and keeping it current. So Instagram's kind of a twofer if you like that. But if you're a Facebook person and you have a huge network on Facebook, go with that. That's how I started, was that I was still using Facebook a lot, and you want to get your social media stuff started, even if you're not going to sell for a month, 6 months, whatever. Get it started, start making some process videos and showing people what you're working on, letting them know that you have this account. It's going to take a little bit of time to build up followers and people who are interested in your work. So go ahead and lay that foundation, and that way you get people, they know what you're doing, they are anticipating when you're going to launch, and they're getting excited about your products and learning more about you and getting invested in you before you even start saying like, okay, my shop is updated, go shop. Okay. So I would say get on social media and start working that and building your audience. Okay. One last little note about social media. Do not feel pressured to post something every single day. If you can post consistently once or twice a week and your followers know, oh, it's Wednesday morning, I probably will see a post from this person, and they can kind of rely on you to be consistent, a couple posts a week or a couple YouTube videos, or like 1 or 2 YouTube videos a week, whatever it is that works for you. Do not feel pressured to post every single day. Now, if you want to like hit the ground running and you want to post something every day and you have content that's changing, definitely do that, but don't feel pressured to post something every single day and feel like you're just spending all your time on social media. Definitely set a schedule that works for you. Okay, so you've got your bank account set up, you've got your socials going, you're making your inventory and sharing that through your different platforms, but you want to prepare to sell online. So the big question that I would ask, or the big debate, let's say, is do you make your own standalone website, or do you go with something like Etsy or another platform that is a conglomerate of many different artists? So I'm not going to tell you which way to go, because I actually I do both. I am going to tell you from my experience how I started and how my process has evolved and why I have both now. And I'll tell you what I use and the different aspects of why I choose either one. Okay, so I am on Etsy and I have my own standalone website on Square. So let's get into Etsy. Okay, so let's talk about Etsy. There are some really great aspects of Etsy, and there are some things that you want to consider when you are trying to decide if you're going to go on a platform like Etsy. So one amazing thing is that there are customers at the ready, and it's a trusted brand. So you have a large population of people who are already on the website or in the app looking to shop, and your listings just get put in with that. I will also say it's very easy to use, especially the shipping piece of it, because you can set that up and people can shop from all over the world, and it just figures out the shipping costs and charges them that right cost. I mean, that's if you get everything set up the right way. But the shipping is so integrated, and you do get a discount on purchasing the shipping labels. So if you're just starting out and you are also just starting out on social media, that Etsy might be a good way to go. If you do a standalone website, like how I have a Square website, you have to drive all the traffic to that website. I have definitely seen, when people find my stuff on Etsy and it just starts going and going and going, and I get a ton of page visits, and that doesn't happen as much on my standalone website. So if you're just getting your social media account started, if you're just starting to build your business, you may want to go with a platform like Etsy because of that built-in traffic. Okay, so let's talk about Square or another standalone website. So unlike Etsy, with a standalone website, you have to drive all that traffic into your account. Now, I love Square because Instagram, like I said, is my main platform, and Square actually integrates with Instagram. So when I have my Instagram shop, it's all linking back to my Square website. So if I post something on my website as an item to purchase, it automatically updates my Instagram shop. So I can easily tag products in my Instagram post, and people can go directly from Instagram to my shop and buy stuff. So I do love that. And now that I've been established on Instagram for a while, that's how I can drive my traffic to my website. But like I said, if you're still just starting out, it's something to consider. But I waited a very long time before I started my own standalone website. And I mostly did that because I wanted to have better control over how I sold, what I sold, and I'll get into that a little bit when I talk about fees next. But the last point I'll say about doing your own standalone website, just one thing to consider is you do need a tiny bit of knowledge about how to build a site. Many of the places are just so user-friendly now that if you're a little bit tech or web savvy, you should be totally fine. But you do need to kind of create your pages from scratch. And so you either need to be knowledgeable already or willing to take the time to learn how to do some stuff. So just think about that. Etsy is a little bit more plug and play. You just go in and fill in the fields and then it does everything for you. Whereas creating your own website, you can make a super simple one or you can keep going and take it from there. So just two things to consider. Okay, so the final thing to consider when you're considering doing a platform like Etsy versus making your own website are the fees and costs involved. Etsy charges you a fee to list an item. They charge you a percentage fee when you sell the item, and they don't have a monthly fee unless you use their website overlay situation. I'm not going to get into that, but there is no monthly fee, but every time you sell an item, if they're multiples, it renews and then you have to pay that listing fee again. Whereas on your standalone website, you pay either a monthly or an annual fee for the hosting of the website. And then for Square, I can speak to that. I pay just the credit card processing fee. And that's 2.9% usually. So I'm not paying to list anything. I can put 1,000 different things on my website for sale and I don't pay anything other than just my monthly fee. So there is a trade-off between Etsy and having your own. So, you're paying them to bring those customers to you on Etsy. Now, one thing that I will mention too about Etsy versus your own website, and part of the reason that I am transitioning over, I will still keep stuff on my Etsy site, but it's a specific type of stuff that sells well there and the pricing all works out well for me. But in general, Etsy wants to push and prioritize items that have free shipping. And this is something that they started a couple years ago. And for my particular type of item, it's really, really tough to include free shipping because even though a $5 journal from, a big box store is not the same quality as what I'm making, they're still out there and available. You can get a journal for $1 at the Dollar Tree, so I can only price mine so high and still be kind of in the game, if that makes sense. So for me, it's real, and they're heavy. So I have to charge for $9 or $10 for shipping because it goes up to priority mail. It's too heavy for first class. So for my particular experience, adding in $9 or $10 to the regular price to create free shipping listings is really hard. It takes my journals to a different price point. So that is my pressure point in mine. But if you make and ship stuff that's super lightweight to ship and you're paying $4 first class mail to ship stuff, more power to you. That's a great point to be on Etsy and to be adding in that, building in that shipping cost into your item price. So on my standalone website, I can charge what I want to charge for the journal and then additionally charge for shipping. And I just feel like it's a little bit more transparent, and I like that. I like my customers to know that they're just paying for shipping. They're not paying like an inflated price. So that was long and rambling, but that is one thing to consider, is that there are more fees. And if, you know, the Etsy algorithm is, if you're feeding that and doing the free shipping listings, you just have to incorporate that into your pricing. Now, we will talk about pricing next week in my next video. I'm going to get into more of the nitty gritty on how to price your items. But for now, I just wanted to cover, you know, what to consider. So for now, I hope that you will just think over what social media platforms you want to start on or nurture if you already have some set up. And just consider all these points of, do you already have an audience that they would follow you if you told them to go to a standalone website, or are you just starting out and you want to just go with a platform that already exists and has a customer base waiting for you? So those are things to consider as you're trying to choose which website to start listing your products on. So I will see you next week talking about pricing. I'm really excited. That was one of the questions you all had so much interest in. And so I'm excited to chat with you about that. Have a great week. Bye.